Hi there and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Canva to create a flyer. As a teacher, as a school administrator, there's many times that I've had to use this program to create information that I can send out to parents or send out to our community to enlighten people about what it is we're doing, or even to promote enrollment for the program where I work. And so in this video, I want to show you what that looks like, just doing a deep dive into the program to maybe inspire you to take the next step to create something in Canva for your team. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to www.canva.com and then sign in or create an account. Now, if you're a teacher, you can create an account with your teacher account and you get some extra perks with some additional features within Canva. In this case, I'm going to click login and I'm going to click on continue another way and continue with Microsoft, and I'm going to use my school account to log in. And now I'm signed in. So I frequently am making flyers that advertise things such as the virtual school that I work for. And in this case, I'm working to recreate this flyer, and I'm going to show you my workflow for doing that. So here's a closer look at the flyer. I'm planning on doing a 2-pager here so it can be printed as a front and a back and used to advertise our program. And so here's what the first page looks like. And then here is what the second page looks like. So the first thing we want to do in recreating this flyer is we want to select a theme. So let's get started. So to get started, the first thing we want to do is select a template. And so I'm going to select a flyer template and just see what they have. And we're going to take a look and see some of the options here and see if we can find something that might kind of match or resemble what we're looking to create. If you find one that you like and you want to take a look at, if you click on it, it will actually also give you some suggestions of other example flyers that look just the same or are kind of built along the same mindset. I actually really like this one here. If I wanted to, I could click customize this template and choose to make this into my flyer, which I think it would work really, really well. And what I'm going to do is I can look through here and see some other examples of university admissions now open. And this is kind of what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to advertise that my program is open here. So I could use any of these templates and do the exact same thing I'm trying to show you, but for now, I'm going to find the same one I was using before. So after a considerable amount of time, I was able to find the flyer template that I used before. Turns out I was using a hiring poster. I'm going to choose customize this template, and we're going to get started. So the first thing that I need to do is, since the flyer that I was using or that I'm recreating is actually a green folder, which is my school colors, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to change the background color to green. And I'm just going to use one of these default colors. This right here works just fine. And that's going to turn the background green. Now, I actually don't like this. What I'm going to do is I need that color to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to just kind of maybe play around with this just a little bit to make it more of a darker, richer colored green. So once you work and you think you got it just right, then you're good to go. So I'm going to move on. In this case here, I'm not really hiring. So what I am doing though is I'm accepting applications. So I'm going to change this to accepting applications. And I need to also shrink the text a little bit. So this is really big. I'm going to try cutting it down to 30 and seeing what that is. That right there actually seems a little bit small. So I'm going to squeeze this in, and then I'm going to pull this out to make this text a little bit bigger. Oh, Control Z is my best friend when it comes to this kind of thing. And I actually don't like that either. So I'm going to squeeze this in and make that drop down. And I'm going to turn this text black. So I'm going to click on up here after I've highlighted the text. So I'm going to select my text. I'm going to come up here and choose text color. I'm going to make it black, which I think just kind of makes it pop a little bit better on that yellow contrasting background there. And so that right there looks good. I like how that looks. We are accepting applications. And so this here, I like where this heading is, but I want to change it a little bit. And I want to change it to apply. All right, and then I'm going to follow that up with a colon. I also want this to stand out a little bit better. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to underline that. And now it kind of pops out. And for this section here, I'm going to take the default information they had here and I'm going to change it up to what I need it to be. So we're going to say, make an appointment with your counselor. Now, I need to make this where it's not all caps. So I'm going to highlight the text, and I'm going to click on this to kind of shrink it down. I'm not a big fan of that font, so I'm going to click over here and I'm going to try to find the font that I want. We've got a bunch of different fonts you can choose from here. I kind of like this one here, so I'm going to click on that, and there we go. So now I'm actually going to hit enter again, and I'm going to finish typing this section out. Okay, now that I've got that section, I've got some extra stuff here that I don't really want. So I'm either going to click it and then click on the trash can to get rid of it, or just click it and hit the delete button. And I'm going to go ahead and delete these other things over here out as well. I'm going to just get rid of all of these. I'm going to get rid of that. Now this here, I'm actually going to keep this because I like it. I'm going to move it underneath this megaphone that I want to kind of stand out and announce my thing. So I'm going to say, apply now. And I liked how this background follows the text. That's pretty cool. I'm going to make it so that this text is all caps. And I'm going to click on it, highlight it, and kind of build it out, make it a little bit bigger there. And then I'm going to move it to right about here. I like it right there. I'm actually going to put a QR code right here. So I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. And this way I'll have a little bit of space to insert my QR code. And then I'm going to make an arrow here that points to that QR code. All this stuff is within Canva. So I used Google Forms, and I was able to come up into the Google Chrome browser and create this QR code. Very easy, super free, didn't have to do anything super special for that. I'm going to come and just shrink that down just a little bit and move this over just a tad. And then I want to insert an arrow to kind of point people to this QR code so they can find more information about our program. So in this case, I'm going to click up here. I want to choose elements, and I'm looking for arrows. So I'm going to type in arrow. You can do this with anything you're looking for. Canva's got something for everything. And under where it shows shapes or graphics, either which one, we can do see all. In this case, I'm really looking for what I think is a graphic, so I'm going to choose the see all button. And I like this one here. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to move it to where I want it to be, and just kind of shrink it down into place. Maybe make it a little bit more like that. I like that. I'm going to shrink this a little bit and maybe move it over some, maybe move this over some as well to kind of just make a little bit of sense. And then I like this here, but I need to change the way that I need to change the text a little bit. So I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to say apply for 2024, 2025. Okay, I like that. I'm going to shrink it. I'm going to make this where it's not all caps, and I'm going to shrink it down a pretty good bit, again, just like I did before. And then I'm going to just duplicate it. Oh, not that. I'm going to select the type. I'm going to duplicate the type by hitting the duplicate button. And now I've got the same font here, and I can just work it another way. We're going to say, we're taking application January 15 through February 15. There we go. And now I've got that here. I'm not really a fan though of this background graphic here. So I'm going to delete that out, and I'm going to replace it. And what I'm kind of wanting here is something more like a fun looking conversation bubble. So let's look under elements again, and let's type in conversation bubble, and let's see what it gives. And then I like this one here. I'm going to look a little bit more though. There might be some others I can use. Make sure I spell bubble right. And I like this one here. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to add it where the other one was. I'm going to maybe shrink it down, play around with it just a little bit. And then I want to change this font. I'm not a big fan of this, so I'm going to look for another one. They have a million different fonts to choose from down here. It's really hard to find what you want, but you've got options. I think I'm going to go with this one here. And I'm going to click on that and change both of these to that. It kind of makes it look a little bit different there. Let's see. I need to shrink this in some. Make it like that. Oh, Control Z that. Let's play around with this just a little bit here. See if we can't make it look a little bit better for what we're trying to do. A lot of what you're doing, a lot of playing with Canva is really just doing this here, where you're just trying to refine it, get it looking perfect for what you're trying to do. And now I actually think I want to maybe turn this a little bit. So I'm going to click on the item, and this little arrow here allows me to kind of turn that and make it a little bit askew, which I think is going to just add to the visual here, make it not look so static. There we go. I like that. So we're going to move this a little bit further down, maybe shrink it just a little bit because I don't want it to be on the bubble. Make this a little bit bigger here as well. And now, great. So I need like some kind of a memo here that will help me to explain what the program is to anyone who's looking to join. So what I want to do is I'm going to click like maybe a post-it or something and see if I can find somewhere that I can use a cute little background to provide some information here. So I'm going to come, once again, I'm in Elements. I'm just going to look for Post-it. And you get all kinds of different options here that you can use. So I'm going to click on See All. I don't like that. It's not really what I'm looking for. We're going to click on Graphics and see if we can find something different. So I think I'm going to try this one. So let's hit the button and see what that looks like. I'm going to expand it out just a little bit. I'm going to move my Apply Now. Maybe bring it in just a smidge. And what I want to do is I want some text to go right here. So I'm going to take this box, I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to move it down, and I can't see it. So the first thing I want to do is change the text to black so I can make it show up. And then I'm going to try to resize this a little bit to kind of make it fit within the parameters of my whiteboard. I want to expand this out just a little bit and expand this out just a little bit, and then just play with it until I can make it work. On second thought, I don't think I like this one at all, so I'm gonna go back and use this one here, which I think is gonna do a little bit better for me. Expand that out some, and then just play with it. I'm gonna move this guy a little bit further over, and there we go. So now what I want to do is I want to change this to what I want it to say, and there we go. I'm just gonna expand this. Okay, and so I like the way that looks. That's a little bit better. I still may end up playing around with this a little bit to change around, but for the most part, this one here is what I want the first page to look like. So now for the second page, I don't actually want to use this same template. I want the second page to be a little bit more informational. So this first page is kind of a quick visual flyer, not a whole lot of text and information. The second one, I want them to be able to read a little bit deeper to see a little bit more on what the program is like. So we're going to find another template for this. So since I've made this flyer before, I've cheated a little bit. I remember this one here is the one I used, and I actually searched travel. So I was able to adapt this travel template into what I wanted it to be. And so I went ahead and under design, I chose travel, and then I selected the design I want. And that is now the second page. But just like with last time, I need to customize that to make it my own. So here it goes. So the first thing I want to do is this stuff up here at the top. I kind of like the font. All right, I might keep that, but I'm going to actually delete this image out. And then you notice that you've got this kind of grassy looking background here, which is actually a type of item within Canva that allows you to drop a picture, and it's going to keep my formatting. So I'm going to come in to my uploads, and I'm going to select the logo from my Can Innovate program. So now I've got my logo in. I'm going to pull it up so that you can kind of see it snap into place there in this element. I'm going to let go, and it pops into place there. Now, there's a few things wrong here. First, there seems to be, you can see I select some kind of a thing here that's causing like a cloud over my image. I'm going to delete that out. And where it says the world, I don't want that. So I'm going to delete that out too. For now, I'm going to use Explore, but I'm going to move it out of the way. And I don't like these words showing up under my logo. So a few things I could do, I could crop the picture. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to expand it a little bit to kind of drag it out and maybe just cover it up that way just by expanding it out just a little bit. And I'm going to re-center right there. So that right there is probably as good as I'm going to get for it, which is okay. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to delete this out as well. I'm going to move this text down a little bit lower, and I want to say about us. So I want people to be able to read some information about my program here. And I noticed that the text needs to be roughly the same color as the background here. So I'm going to click on the text color, and now watch this. It actually kind of knows what kind of colors I'm using in the document. So I'm just going to click on the color green that I used earlier, and it more or less matches the background here. Now, I might need to tweak it a little bit because I want it to be the same color as the Can Innovate text. That looks pretty close there, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to actually click up here and make that change as well. So now I know that all my font and all my backgrounds are roughly the same color. Maybe a little different, but it's okay. I'm going to change this text to for Aiken County students. I'm going to move it over to kind of center it. In fact, I'm going to click on my center button here to make sure that I've got it just right. And then I'm going to change it to the right color as well, which I think is this one. All right, now the colors to all these different backgrounds here, same kind of thing. I just want them all to be green, so I'm going to go ahead and make those changes while I'm at it. Backgrounds here as well. Branding is important sometimes when it comes to these kinds of flyers and this type of material. So now you can already see that the color schematics look about right. I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit to make the word so it doesn't interfere with my logo. I'm going to actually center this too to help me keep it better aligned. Now, I just want to delete out these pictures because they don't mean anything for what I'm trying to promote here. For now, I'm going to leave these blank and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the text that I want here for the sake of the flyer. So what I want to include is some information here about the program, including daily life instruction, what it's like to be a virtual student for ACPSD, and the cost of the program. And I also want to add some information about information sessions that parents can attend with some information about our program. And so I really need to add a section in here. I'm actually going to take these text items, I'm going to pull them around this way, which will allow me to kind of make another column on the right hand side. And I want to put something in here that makes it kind of look in alignment with the rest of the flower. So I'm actually going to take this graphic and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to move it right over here and kind of just hide part of it in the corner just like this, kind of like what they did over here. And then I'm going to put some information. I'm actually going to duplicate this and put it right there. And we're going to call it information session. I'm going to shrink this down and make the text drop down. And I'm going to make it so that it's all caps. And then I'm just going to kind of shrink it down just a few pieces here. Make it fit inside the bubble. I want to use some more text over here. So I'm going to move a couple of these around. And for this one here, I want to say learn more about our program. I'm going to just kind of shrink that down a little bit right there. And I'm going to bold this just to make it stand out some. And then I'm going to duplicate another one. I'm going to go ahead and unbold that. And I want to promote our information session. So I'm going to say in person, January the 25th at 6:00 p.m. at 123 Aiken Avenue. Okay, I'm going to maybe shrink this up a little bit, kind of stick it over here to the side. I don't want to shrink it that much, maybe about right there. And I'm going to duplicate this again. And I'm going to say virtual on February 1st at 6 p.m. I'm going to kind of lower these just a smidge. And I want to add in something like a graphic to kind of get their attention. So I'm going to come over here. I'm looking at dates. So I'm going to type in calendar. And I'm looking under elements for a calendar. I kind of like this just generic icon right here. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to shrink it down a little more. I'm going to just stick it right here. And then I'm going to duplicate it and put the other one right there. So now I've created these little visual displays that kind of show, make the reader look at this information here about our information programs. Then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to lower this just a little bit. Then duplicate that, put it right here, and type in information about registration. There you have it. So now the information is there. I just want to change this information over here to be what I need it to be. There we go. So now I'm just going to kind of straighten this up a little bit, make it look decent. And I've got my information there about the program. Now I want something to kind of demarcate this and to separate it out. So I'm going to come under elements. I'm going to click line. And I'm going to find just a cool looking line, maybe something like this. And I'm going to just kind of use the arrows here to rotate this around. We want it to be like that. And I'm going to put it right here. Okay, I like what I've got here. So now I know what the information is. I've filled out most of the information on the program flyer. I just want to put something here, and I've got these spaces here, and I want to fill it up with something. So what I'm going to do is I need pictures of stuff that might resemble online education. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to search for online learning, or maybe even an online conference or a Zoom conference. And I have these options here. I'm going to actually, in this case, choose photos, because a lot of these graphics won't snap into these places where these like photo frames, they won't snap in. So I'm going to click on a photo, and I'm going to just find like a generic conference. Like I like this one here. She looks young. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to just insert it there. And you can see it just kind of snaps into place just like the logo did. Now, the next one I want is, I'm talking about it being an online program for district students. So I'm going to just take a picture of a school, and I'm going to look until I find what I want. I like this one here. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to drag it into place until it snaps. And then finally, it's tuition free. So I want to get a picture of money to put here. So I'm going to type money. And in this case, I don't want real money. So I'm going to try my luck with graphics. And I'm going to look at, I like this one here. So let's see if this one here will snap into place. And I got lucky, and it does. So there is, the pictures on the left are done. I'm just going to maybe move this down just a little bit to make it where it doesn't look so green and add some separation. And so I kind of like how this plays out. I'm going to delete these out. For this one here, I'm just going to put in my website. I want to switch this out for a World Wide Web. There you go. And I'm going to change my URL. And then over here, I'm going to stick our district logo. Now I have the district logo as an upload. So I uploaded the image there and did the same thing as I did for my virtual program logo here. And so I just want to add that in. And at this point now, the flyer looks ready to print. So there you have it. That right there is the whole entire process, my whole workflow for creating flyers using Canva. I do this all the time for my program. As a teacher, you can use it for your newsletter. You can use it to promote an event at your school. There's limitless application for how to do this, and I hope it's helpful for you. So there you go. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope that you're gonna take that next step to use Canva for whatever your needs are. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.